Hi, I'm Paul McAleer, a product strategist here at Livefront, and I'm not a gardener. I'm not a professional gardener, but I know the basics into what keeps plants alive, healthy, and thriving. You need fertile ground, you need seeds, you need sunlight and water, and you need to prune your plants. And you need to harvest them as they bear fruit. Turns out this is not unlike a digital strategy. The components and care apply here as well. With my garden, a very first step was to build garden boxes. I then needed to get the proper soil for my area. This meant things like amendments, compost, and mulch to keep the soil rich and healthy in its own way. Likewise, any strategy endeavor needs that same fertile ground. There needs to be a sense of readiness and openness, a sense that we're ready and open to change. A positive sense that yes, something will be changing here, but we might not know exactly what it looks like. This means making sure there's agreement and alignment first and foremost. That may mean casual conversations among stakeholders, reviewing analytics and user research, or simply setting out to create an annual plan. Once you've got the ground in place, you need to plan out what's happening. Why are we here? What are we hoping to make? My garden plan last year included fruits and veggies my family would enjoy. I also wanted to try out some new things I'd never planted before. I then purchased seeds and plants. All of these got nice, warm homes indoors while the weather warmed up so they could get started and then graduate out to the garden. So with any strategy, generating ideas early on is vital. These are the seeds that we can orchestrate into a plan. We do need to think about our end goals. So we typically look at a few lenses once we're in the planning stages. We look at user value. What problem will this solve for people? Business value. What will this do for our KPIs and metrics? And level of effort. How much time should this take to implement? Like a gardening plan, this gives us a real sense of how much time we'll need to invest into these things to see them through and what they'll yield. As seeds grow into plants, they need attention. It's not complicated. They need sunlight, they need water. And so I was excited to see my strawberry plants bear tiny, tiny fruit almost immediately after they made it to the outdoor garden. So more water, more sunlight, and keeping an eye on things. Once we started to implement our ideas, we continue to iterate and make them real because we're fostering a culture of experimentation. What we're looking for here is to make sure we're on the right track through quantitative research, analytics, and performance metrics, qualitative research, prototypes, user testing, and surveys, and critically having that product in front of people with MVT, A/B tests, betas, and things like that give us the details we need to really be successful. Plants that are growing may need some pruning. We need to make sure that we're removing any parts of the plant that are harboring decay. This ensures that the plant can stay focused on putting its energy into creating fruit. A good gardener will follow up and make sure things are looking healthy. These are signals to take in. And as the season progresses and plants bear fruit, we need to remove them at the right time so we keep the plants healthy. Likewise, in product land, we continue to put our focus on our product and its core. We build features, we build functionality, we gather feedback, and we see what's happening, and then we look to improve. And yes, sometimes distractions may show up. It's critical to have a process in place to take in that feedback and review it when it's appropriate, because you don't need to act on every piece of feedback at every time. You have to be careful on where you put your energy. Now, one important part of a product strategy is celebrating the victories and enjoying the fruits of our labor. But we also need to keep looking forward. So a roadmap and a plan that has enough give and take is vital. So in conclusion, make sure you're tending to your product, always gathering user feedback and carefully monitoring metrics. Your product can't be something you release and let wither on the vine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some products to grow.